Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the live stream. Today we're going to be continuing the build of the Ultimate Collector series, UCS The Mandalorian N-1 Starfighter. It's a very long name. And yeah, basically this is the completed ship. We're working on it. We're on bag 10 out of 16. The giveaway is still ongoing. You still have a chance to win. And depending on the number of subscribers that we get on this channel, the giveaway will get more and more interesting. So for example, if we get up to 5k subscribers, then we'll be giving away all of these sets. The paper bag, the $10 set, plus this version of the snow speeder, the force burn speeder, whatever it's called, the X-Wing, and the big Razor Crest if we get to 5k. If we get to 1 million, it's all of those sets, plus these 3 Ultimate Collector Series sets, including the $1,000 Death Star. So can we reach 1 million subscribers by the end of May 2026? That's up to you. Bring your friends, your family, people in your Discord server, anyone who you think might be interested. And we can do this. I have seen YouTubers go from 1,000 to 1 million in a very short amount of time. You see, the more you share, the more you engage in the algorithm, it really helps me out. So if you believe in what I do, that's the best way to support me. Alright, now without further ado, the camera is ready. We can get started. Last night I had a pretty big day, to be honest. It was lots of stuff happened. I had to attend certain events after work, so I came right back, started to do the live stream. We finished bag 9. Bag 10 is almost done, but I got pretty tired before I was able to completely finish it. So I said, okay, I need to go rest, and I just left it as it is. So today we're going to pick up from there. Just a reminder, if you're new here, to like and share the stream. It always helps. So yeah, essentially what we did so far in bag 10 is a little bit of the underside. I was hoping that they would do all of that at once, and I got so frustrated with the rear end here, I just disconnected it, at least for the time being. That gives me much more flexibility. But yeah, we did this part of the underside, so just literally 4 or 5 pieces or something like that. Now I realize it was a screw mark. Gotta fix that on the fly. I have to put it down to fully attach it. And then we were building this part here, and the confusion or the stuff that was not clear is how do we fit this here in a way that make sure that everything works together at the subtle angles so that we approximately match this. Maybe go a little bit over. So that's the part that I was not sure about. I built this stuff that will go here, but we'll have to work on this stuff first. Basically, you can see what I'm doing. For some reason, I seem to have a lot of trouble with this yesterday. It was the end of the day. It was the last thing that I did. And I just realized I have not started the music. Let me do that. Alright, that's a little bit better. Alright. So, essentially, it just comes down to the ordering of these parts. We know that most of this is correct, but maybe we're off by a bit. And also I found these pieces yesterday, hiding underneath the stand. I guess we could use them and free up these plates. perhaps it might be best to temporarily remove this to avoid destroying stuff. This thing is pretty fragile, because remember, in theory, we shouldn't have built the stand yet. According to the people who make the LEGO instructions, they think that we don't need the stand. I think it could be useful, but again, you have to know what you're doing. These pieces fit here. Of course, look at that. I'm holding this from the underside, just to make sure when I press down, it doesn't destroy the whole thing. So just be careful with that. And we verified yesterday that this goes at this level, so we don't need to add any other plates. This is perfectly what it's supposed to do. Next, we have what appears to be like this. This and this are at the same level, so that this part here I'm pretty sure about, but this part here is not so sure. Tried a bunch of things and none of them seem to work, because we don't want to have this gap here, otherwise this red piece will be visible from above. And the other thing we don't want is a big gap between this piece and this piece, so this should not be visible. So bring again this side assembly here. Be a bit more careful when attaching it. So we don't want this to be visible from outside. So this fulfills that requirement, but then we have this big gap here. So we want the solution that meets both requirements. And we do know that this will be used somewhere in here. Maybe there's like a gap or something. We move this back by one. That's what's not clear to me. But that's basically what we're figuring out with the pieces that we have left, and we have basically these pieces plus now these two plates that we freed up from being used here. So essentially, this is what we're working with. Two plates like this, you have to often use two brick separators to free them. There's also a bunch of extra pieces we did not use in the previous bag, so I suppose we could use those here if we really need to. I'll try to avoid doing that. Jumpers. So could the jumpers be used to offset the gap? Interesting. Looks like my assumption that these pieces go this way is not correct. So it looks like this was the fundamental mistake. Attaching this red piece here. Because on closer inspection, it actually appears that these pieces go this way instead. It's not super easy to see, but it is visible if you look close enough. Yeah, with this, to remove this, add this, back. Okay, so with that, we know that basically all what we did here is no longer relevant. Just know that this is going to be here and it's going to angle down very slightly. Let's see two of these plates. Let's look carefully. Not sure that these are the same color, actually. Okay, actually I see better now what's going on. There's this piece is attached the other way around, like this. Not necessarily the other, this will get attached to it. And this one I'm more or less confident about. Well, at least this I'm confident about. Okay, so we have this. This gets attached here. Here's of height. Does this work? So we want the top of this to match going to be slightly higher than this. So let's see if that works. I know we need to attach more stuff, but just want to make sure that this is the height. And yes, it is. So this is the solution so far. Next. Yeah, perhaps it's better to just attach this like this, but we know that this is correct now. Let's see, I'll go through inspection. Just want these pieces here. Yeah, this work. Yes, I think this is it. Attach this and then we angle this slightly to basically minimize the gaps either way. I believe this is the solution. Where do we use these? That I'm not sure yet. It might be for the seat. Actually, this might also be used for the seat. Maybe we can build the headrest of the seat. As long as the minifigure can fit. Actually, let's try that now. I'll just use it with a cape. I saw at the Lego store they were able to get him inside. I'm sure there's a way to make that happen. So, yeah, don't do this long term because the crate will get crinkled. But yeah, this is one possible pose, and I'm relatively sure that the cockpit piece will fit over him. But if we add some stuff here, then we'll need to always remove the cape. Actually, I think we'll just leave it like this for now. And in my review, I'll just show pictures of the thing completed and say it's probably not worth it if you want to put the minifigure inside. Which I would like to do, but some people might not care about that. But essentially it's just these tiles and plates being put on this piece, and yeah, so that's probably it. I think we can move on. We gotta do, yeah, this is not that hard. It's just some plates on top of plates and this inch piece, but I found it so challenging yesterday, and that just goes to show you when you're tired, you need to rest. It took me a while and still had trouble figuring this out yesterday. But regardless, we're done now. This cockpit gets added here for this windshield. Grogu's cockpit, but still no Grogu. So I would guess that the other cockpit will also go here. Before I do that, I'm just gonna reattach the black. That's also something that came off yesterday. It'd be easier to do it this way. Correctly, high, because you don't want to touch it from the front. Yeah, there we go. So let's look at the windshield piece that they enclose here, and I believe it's a new mold designed specifically for this ship. The only thing I'm getting a paper bag in the case of this particular set, so again, try not to touch it directly, only from the sides and the bottom. This will go here. And through the magic of buying two of them, I should have two Mandos. I will have to make it clear that this other Mando is sold separately. You can kind of keep him with the jetpack. It's not that large. Let's give that a try. Yeah, so because this comes in like a $10 set, you can buy a $10 set and basically put put him in here. Even made him a bit for added realism. Yeah, let's see. Does this fit? Yeah, it's pretty snug, but it fits. Here's what that looks like head on. He's looking the other way. Let's see, can we fix that real quick? Yeah, it's more like it. Yeah, so that's what that looks like. Of course, there's only one of this minifigure included in the set. Looks like this is touching, but I think there's a bit of a gap. Yeah, there's a small gap between the helmet and the windshield, so we're fine. Alright. That was interesting. Alright. And I'm trying to remember which one of these pieces I already used. I use the jumpers and this piece. This as well, I'll put these away. All the others are going to go with the unused extra parts. And we can move on to bag number 12. I'll do a small bag announcement for this bag. So thankfully, no gaps. Bag 10 builds a little bit of the underside right here, showing where my thumb is, and then builds the cockpit area for Mando and Grogu with some interesting studs on the side construction as well as hinge construction right here. So a little bit challenging to figure out at first, but I was able to figure it out on. This was a bit challenging to figure out at first, but after a good night's sleep, I was able to figure it out on the next live stream. In this building phase, we will also use this piece that's included in a separate paper bag. And through the magic of buying 2 of these minifigures, I'm able to demonstrate that Mando can fit inside if you don't overbuild the cockpit area for him. But more on that in the review. And next up, I will build bag 12 because we already built bag 11 that contains the stand and this Mando. Alright. Let's see, what do we do in bag 12? This. Oh, it's tiny. Don't let that fool you. Sometimes these small bags can be the most difficult. Not always, but sometimes. So let's open this and see what's inside. I feel like I'm going to keep knocking this over. Push this back a bit. the most interesting thing in this bag is Grogu, or sometimes known as Baby Yoda. We have seen him before in another set, but I suppose it's nice to see him again here. Better look at him with the lighting. The ears are flexible so that kids don't hurt themselves when playing with this thing. I do like the new mold that they did for the body. It's more accurate than the baby that they used to have. The January set, I don't know why, but they gave us like the old mold, the baby, but you can see here the new version that I'm holding in my hand versus the old version that we used to get prior to spring of this year. I guess they didn't want to give us both of the UCS minifigures in the single set, but well. So, let's give up some space next to the Jaren. That's the name of the Mandalorian, so here they are together. What's your size comparison? Yeah, that looks pretty interesting. Alright. As for the rest of the parts in Act 12, there's this long red axle. I'm sure it's going to be used like in the middle and the stuff around it. The only other interesting part is this piece. I believe this is something from Lego Botanicals, or something like that. Not sure I remember seeing it before, but it's definitely an interesting piece, especially in the transparent blue color. Transparent light blue. Looks like we're going to be building like some kind of engine thruster. And I like these, and they all come together without like crashing into each other. So the designer, the art designer who designed this part, massive kudos to them. Art design team, it might not have been a single person, but the people who designed this, you have to give them credit because it's within system. It just makes sense. It all works out perfectly. Yeah, think about it. If you had designed this part, would you think about the case where not only do you clip things at this angle, not only like 90 degrees, but you're also thinking about this particular piece and how these work together? That's pretty smart. There's lots of foresight, basically. Why so many people love Lego. Like that attention to detail, the way everything just fits. You never have to worry about it. That looks like the way I did this Coincidentally, the screw marks are at the top and bottom, which I guess is the best case scenario. At some point, we're going to have to insert this axle. After that, we have this type of wheel. So notice that there's different types of wheels here. On the Lego Technic theme, so we have this one, it's a bit thinner, and this one that's thicker. Their texture here is different. So that's what we care about here. We're using the wheels primarily for the texture, which I find to be interesting. This and this orientation are not the same, so we have to confirm what orientation are we going to use, if that even matters. I think that one, looking at it from this side, well, from this hole, I believe this is the right way to do it. Put the hole up here. I believe this is the correct way to do it. And another one of these. Pretty sure this is going to be the same. So again, I have like one more piece that has a screw mark this way instead of this way, so I cannot have it perfect, but we're off by one, basically. It just goes to whichever pieces are included in a particular set. So we'll do it like to the best extent of our capabilities. Okay, so this one goes, the studs facing out this way. Okay. Then we have this wheel. This way exactly. Because there's a small gap here, but it doesn't really matter. It's very, very small. And finally, this with the studs facing this way. Try to hide those screw marks as best as we can. So that's basically back 12. I'll do the bag announcements and we can move on. Bag 12. Bag 12 gives us the Grogu character, as well as builds the main thruster. So quite a small bag compared to all the others in this set. This gets attached to the rear, like so. Here's what that looks like from the back. Quite nice detail, I especially like the transparent blue and the way they use the wheel pieces. That's the nice part usage right there. It's a small bag, so I shouldn't spend too much time talking about it. All right. Now we can move on to bag 13. Do you think we'll be able to finish this tonight? I think there's a chance we might be able to finish this tonight. Maybe. No promises yet, but we have 4 bags remaining, and they're mirrored. That means you have to do basically 2 bags worth of effort. But you have to do the thing twice, but they're largely going to be mirrored. So yeah, let's do bag 13. And at this point, you don't need to anticipate minifigures. You already got all the characters and stuff. I'll still point out that we have very interesting details in each bag as I see them. Yeah, so thank you for the comment. LVLAHOS343, not quite sure how to pronounce your username. Yeah, it's certainly a choice. I'm kind of used to doing this by now, but it's still quite challenging to build an Ultimate Victor Series ship without the instructions. There's some interesting parts. What do I notice? Well, there's this piece included here in 2 colors. And one thing you might not know is that you could attach this piece either like this on the grid, or you could attach it at like a 45-degree angle. It's still going to be, well, it's connected to the grid, but now it's a diagonal. So you could build stuff diagonally. If you have like a bunch of these pieces, you put them like next to each other. Yeah, this and this are not like in system, but you could build stuff independently here and here. It's just something nice to think about if you're gonna build like using these pieces. And LEGO has used this, I believe, in official sets, or at least official product images. Just be careful because you will not be able to link this and this together directly. Alright. With that being said, let's build bag 13 itself. Oh, and because of the way LEGO does extra pieces, I'm pretty sure one of these is going to be an extra. And then this is a blaster that you can give to Mando unofficially. I don't think they gave him any weapons in the official set. Actually, maybe they did, because I see like this black blaster. Okay, never mind that. But I suppose it's good to have a backup. There. Knock this off again. Okay. Guess I'll just leave this for the end. Just, it gets knocked off way too easily. Just like a feather touch is enough to knock it off. Okay. Building this here. Looks like a lot of complicated stuff is going on. We can break it down piece by piece. Yeah, I remember piece by piece, like the movie with Pharrell Williams. That was hyped for like a week and then people forgot about it and no one mentioned it ever again. Yeah, this feels like I'm building a fort in Lego Star Wars. Like this would usually be the construction of a fort, so this could be like some meta nice part usage right here. This is not a nice part usage because these are also used as weapons or blasters. Here they're used for a ship that's related. Starfighter. These pieces are so useful. Tiles with like the notch. And this thing is so parts dense. Yeah, Lego 10, 15, 20 years ago, they would include like lots of bricks like these and build stuff large and quick. Now, like, it's super, super detailed. And they're only going in one direction. Looks like Vista is here. Makes more sense. There's gonna be this piece that gets attached here, but I think I can attach it now. I was thinking maybe I need to attach it later, but I don't think much more is gonna go here. there's a lot going on just at this bottommost level. I'm looking at it from this perspective, of this being the bottom. Of course, everything's going to be flipped sideways, but you get what I mean. This is like one of the densest builds I've ever seen. Don't see anymore. This, I guess this goes here. I'm not sure yet. Or does it even matter? No, 2 by something dark gray piece that will fit here. This won't work. Let's like not have this bracket thing. This probably won't work. Only this. This would work. I'm leaving this gap here because I don't know what will fill it. I don't think anyone cares. Yeah. Won't be visible in the end anyway. Sometimes LEGO does leave gaps like this to make this assembly easier. And there's a 1 by 3 dark gray piece. Something by 3. Yeah, just like predicted. 3. There's a probably this piece. It's probably like the axle would like stick out from here or something. We'll find out soon enough. I know this will go here. This will go here. Make the circle. See, like just doing this and this, like I hold it in my hand, it's like very small. This is like, I guess like 50 pieces or so. Just like this tiny space. It's this piece that comes over it. Is there probably one of these that goes here? Just count to make sure we don't lose too many. See one thing is for sure. I don't know if we need it at this level here. How many are we gonna have? Like, well, I know we need one, so I suppose we could spend one here. It's probably low risk. Then we can add this plate. This is pretty dense. Feels like a sandwich to me. I wonder what's the deal with these Technic bricks, because you cannot really use this hole for any reason. It has to be decorative. Yeah, probably one of these will go here. Extremely likely for that. It would be nice if they made the curved version of this piece. This is good. I think I should keep this, but also give us another version of this smooth. It would be useful for so many things, including speed champions. It's not just going to be for Star Wars and stuff like that. A curved tile, often called the macaroni tile. And gray. Right here. And there has to be something in here. put here. We'll find out soon enough. Actually, these come from above. You don't need to worry about them yet. And then we know that there's a black piece here, so that means this goes here. That solves that problem, and just have one by one that goes here. What are our candidates? We have this, we have this. Probably not that. There would be a bunch of like these stacked on top of each other. Sometimes they do that. Let's see, do we need this anywhere else? I believe the answer is no. Could be wrong on that, but I believe the answer is no, we're not using this anywhere, so just plug this here. I do like this shape from the top, that looks nice. And just to avoid any potential future mistakes, let's do this now. Fortunately, I have the blue pins. Yeah, LEGO should really give us something to like at least the 18 plus sets. So this is used here. If we use it up here, that means we're not going to accidentally use it somewhere else. This fits here. I don't mind the red pins here because they're completely hidden. Like once these are attached, you're never going to see them. Yeah, that I don't mind, but then the blue pins remain visible. These will probably be visible in the final product, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, they could have recolored this like black or dark gray or yeah. I mean, they used to make these in black up until 2007. And they were like, oh, we did some research that said kids get confused by these. Okay, fine. But now, in 2020, they launched the 18 plus line, so why not bring back the black pins for people who used to be kids back then and they were fine with it. And now they should be fine with it because they're adults. If an adult is spending hundreds of dollars on a Lego set, like, they're competent enough to like have a job and pay the bills and be able to afford such a set. So I just wish they would treat the customers more like adults. Looks like I need 2 of these. I already used one. Actually, yeah, 2. I only have 1. So, solution to that is I have to go all the way back here. And basically extract this from here. Luckily, I don't have to disassemble everything. Very fortunately, I don't have to disassemble everything. I have red with red. It's quite quick to put it back together. And here, the reason why we need those 2 is because there's going to be stuff on top of this. I have no choice. I have to... Actually, I didn't need to do that. We could have done this, but regardless. I think this is a better place for it anyway. Yeah, red axle is going to go down. Down. Although, don't think it matters that much in the grand scheme of things. Anyways, I think at this point we put this here. Yeah. The density of this build is something else. I'm guessing that's why they gave us like a very small back 12, is because back 13 is going to be huge. Not in terms of the size of the product, in terms of just the number of pieces. Okay, so it's like, oh, that's pretty smart. Okay, put this here. These are perfectly aligned. Look, this stud does not interfere with this. That's pretty smart. The way the designer did this, you have to give credit where credit is due. And of course, this and this is going to match. Stay true to the grid. We need this here. Oh, looks like you have 1 extra. I guess we can put it down there after all. PP. Okay. If I didn't know any better, I would say that this piece most likely goes here. Try to see if I can get a confirmation of that. It's pretty well hidden. Yeah, I'd say that's the most likely thing, because there's a bunch of them. And as always, it's oftentimes better to just do something and then if it doesn't work, undo it. It's Lego after all. Designed to be taken apart and reassembled. As long as you're having fun. That's all that matters. One more weight to put here. Let's see what we can do. That Technic brick. Actually, another one right on top of it. I think at this point we have to insert the. Actually, this goes all the way down. This red axle. Push it down as far as we can. It's pretty far down. I feel like it's a bit too short. Whatever. As long as it gets the job done. Now we can add this. And then we don't add anything here yet. Add this here. Okay. This goes here. This goes here. More of the gun pieces or nozzle pieces as they're officially known. Gunwall Gray lightsaber hilt here, just for greebling. Not a nice part usage. Alright. Looks like this goes here. We're filling in that gap quite nicely. Same thing on the other side. These pieces will go here, but I'm not going to attach them yet because I'll use this as a reference for bag 15. I'll skip bag 14 for now and go straight to bag 15. Just because I have the memory of building this, I want to basically do the same thing again, but mirrored, maybe with some small differences. And then after that, we can move on to the last two bags of the set. Oh yeah, this is definitely peak. I just saw your chat message, by the way. Alright. Now, I guess we can make these face forward. Alright. Let's do the bag announcement. Bag 13 starts to build the right engine of the starship. That's all there is to it. Alright. Now, skip bag 14 for now and go straight to bag 15. Here, I see lots of similar pieces, so that's a good sign. Expecting there to be differences between the motors because it's at such a high level of detail. Yeah, for example, this piece, we did not see it on the other bag. In the other bag. Largely, the idea is going to remain the same. So again, it's going to be just like this but mirrored. If I was building digitally, I would basically do a copy paste, copy and mirror in Studio, if you know what that is. But here, there's no such thing, so the joy of building something the second time. You say enjoy, and if you're tired, take a break, come back, have fun with it. That's what Lego is all about. For the first part of it, I could just like look at this and remember what I did. And the other thing you could do is you could open bags 13 and 15 at the same time and build this and this at the same time but mirrored. I've done that for some sets in the past. It can be good if the number of pieces is not too high. Bracket, bracket. There you go. It's still taking a lot of time. I feel like it gets faster as we go up. Just like here we have like so many 1x1s and 1x2s. To be like precisely aligned. At least that's how I felt when doing the previous one. So And we'll be doing this. Reset that. Oh, it's really weird. Yeah, I didn't fill anything here. I ended up with an extra piece. I don't think it matters in the end. This gap here, I don't think it matters. Just like this dark gray piece here. Yeah, that solves the problem. This side, we got this. As long as I have 3 of these, I should be okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, good. One here. I believe that's how it's supposed to go. This time I'll do something different. I'll try inserting this piece from the start. So you know this has to go here anyway. We'll see if that makes things easier or more difficult. Okay. Should put that like this. Moving on to the upper level, this needs to go here. Yeah. Oh, wait, this does not go here. It's this that goes instead. Let me just see. If we flip them, is there going to be an impact? Okay. Is it gonna have like? Actually, it doesn't matter because we could just do this, and I don't think it's visible in the end. But yeah, lazy. I'll just do it like this. Yeah, this off color is not going to be that visible. Yeah, there's going to be stuff on top of it. Yeah, you won't see this, so this is fine. Sorry, what did we do? Yeah, look at now. Should have one more of these, which we do. We could plug that in there, but let's do that last this time. You know, all that business with the brackets and stuff. Just make sure that, yeah, that color is not visible at all, so this is fine. This, we have another one of these. Okay. Right, so here. Back here. It's done slightly differently anyway. This basically goes here. Okay, so now I understand why you're using the Technic bricks, even though they don't really need the hole. It's because here, in order for us to attach anything sideways, there cannot be the Lego logo here on this stud. It has to be a hollow stud. Okay, now that makes sense. That's a very interesting art usage. If I recall correctly, this goes here. Yeah. Now we can start to, let's see, build up. Now, it's not long ago that we did this. One more, please. Yeah. Yeah. So this part is a bit different from the other one. It's minor differences, all things considered. Looks like this piece will be attached here. It's definitely an interesting piece. I don't think I've seen it before. At least not recently. At least on the side, we do this. I don't think I would be able to do this without instructions. Embracing her inner element from a Lego movie. Yeah, so if you're just starting to build with Lego without the instructions, I would recommend doing a smaller set. So start with something like this. The sets that I plan to be giving away for the giveaway, and maybe you might be the giveaway winner. if you're eligible. So a set like this, which I also built the instructions earlier, I think if you start with sets like these, the small sets, and then you go to larger and larger sets, you'll eventually be able to do it. It takes some time, effort. I make mistakes too when I build these things without the instructions, but it's all part of the fun. So I think it's something that anyone can do if you dedicate enough time and energy to doing it. Yeah. I learned so many interesting building techniques. Basically putting myself in the mind of a designer. This is going to come in handy soon. And I hope that LEGO does not forget the lessons of the LEGO movie. They released that in 2014, which maybe is too early. Like, it's at that point that the father was basically arguing, oh, it's not a toy, it's a building design system. They released building sets a few years later, including this one. I believe this is how it goes. Actually, at this point, I want to attach these pieces. Now that we know how this whole thing comes together. Okay. Now let's do like the last part. put this right here. Okay, that was an extra piece. Yeah. All right. So do this. Back to back 13. Just add these pieces here. We don't forget about them. Right, 2 bags left, 14 and 16. I'll make the bag announcement for bag 15. Then we'll see what to do. Bag 15 builds the first part of the left engine, and it's almost a mirror of bag 13. So the two are quite similar, but not identical. All right. I suppose if people really want to spot the difference, like here's what they look like one last time if you want to spot the differences between the two. I think there's some obvious differences, but yeah, overall the general build is the same. We'll see now what to do. The bag 14 is going to complete this one. So this one with this thing we could just set aside for now. I'll see, depending on the size of bag 14, whether or not to do it now or leave it for a future session. I'm starting to get tired, but I learned yesterday the hard way that when I'm tired, I'm not able to build anything. 14, what that looks like. Lacquered pieces, that's nice. Yeah, looking at it now, just to understand it. Not sure I fully understand it. Right. Oops. Oh, I have some weapons here. There's stuff that I expect to see more in Ninjago. There's this piece that looks new to me. Looks like some kind of wheel or something like that. this. We got one more of these Flex 2 pieces. The most notable piece, I guess, is this piece here, the drum lacquer silver, whatever this is called. It's basically a quarter circle. You put 4 of these together to make a circle. That looks very nice. I can't wait to see this built. There's 4 in this bag and 4 in bag 16, the final bag of the set. Oh, this is print. Nice. I'm happy that this is a print and not a sticker. At least they printed something in this set, besides just the main figures. There's also this piece, I believe it's recolored from Lego Technic. I don't know if this existed in this color before. Probably not. Also this piece that's a little bit flexible. And here's the 4th piece. And this piece looks familiar to me, like with the 5 like nuts or bolts. This, I believe, is from the Fast and Furious Technic car, early this year or last year. Yeah, it reminds me of that car. I'm pretty sure it came from it. It's nice to see this piece showing up in more sets. And they say it's another movie franchise, but still kind of like in the same world of like science fiction movies. You know, like a reference to another franchise there. It's pretty interesting. Just like how Spider-Man, there's references to Star Wars. Alright. I like it when Lego does that. Just to confirm, are we gonna use this one? This pointing up. Okay. The front would be this way, back would be this way. Is this what we have? Yes, so it is this one indeed. And here what we could do is either we build the front and then go towards the back. Here basically it's the middle part. Whether we go this way, then this way. Or we go this way and then after this way. I think it's better to start from the front. It's because the rear has like this very elongated thing and it might end up being annoying. Plus we could like work on it like this. Stacking stuff on top. So I think I want to start from the front to go to the back after. There's actually a black axle. Yes. So I guess there is a reason why that red axle did not go all the way down. I hope that I don't have to destroy and redo the whole thing, but let's just take a look at this. So I think this is about right. We shall see very soon. The good news is that even if we make a mistake on one side, we can fix it on this motor and the other one at the same time. The impact is a bit less terrible than what you might otherwise see. It's very important to know top from bottom, left from right. Actually, yeah. So we're using this piece, usually used with hinges. It's just some greebling. It's an intelligent use by the designer right there. Get right into it with this gear. I really like the color of that piece. Unfortunately, there's no mechanism here. It's not going to do anything. It's just for purely decorative. Softer. This goes on top. And eventually we'll have like that big round plate on top of these, but I think we need to figure out like these connections here, what happens here basically. Because within the realm possibility that this goes here. I think that's possible. Yeah, so if we do this, does this fit? I believe it does fit within the grid. Either like this or like this, one or the other. Let's see if we can find out which. I think this is a safer choice. We have like a bunch of extra parts, we can throw them in here if we need to. But then here we might like have a gap. Just don't think the gap is necessary. Let's confirm that this is the top. Yeah, this is the top where we have like this handle bar piece. Now we're working on the bottom, which has to be 180 degrees from the top, not 90 degrees. Okay. Some interesting buildings. techniques. Four of these. Just attach these three. One more of these. There's a bunch of these which are similar but not identical. A whole bunch of them too. I'm guessing we're going to use the rear connections. I see these red pieces that don't show up anywhere in the build, so that's something to think about. Actually, I do see them. Never mind. They're used at the rear. Sometimes a piece does not leave the bag. That's a pretty important piece. Yeah, it's a bit annoying that you can't find that piece. Now search those small bags again. Nope. Yeah. It's not a round piece that would roll under. Just check. Seems like a piece like this wouldn't be too hard to find, but what do I know? Be hiding these. Yes. There it is. So I'm actually going to create the stuff that we're going to attach them here, but we're not going to attach them yet until the wing is done or almost done, but I'll work on the stuff that will get attached here, just while it's fresh in my mind. Essentially, we start with one of these. Take a Tepic pin, like so. So let's put up the orientation. There's one of these very short lift arms, the 1x2. So we're going to clip this into the main build. I'll take one of those axle pieces. A traditional spacer. It's called. You see the thing we use to fill the gaps. Not this is the half one, but the one is like twice as long as this one. I feel like for this bag, you might be better off sorting the parts because there's a large diversity of parts and also lots of similar parts. Also quite small parts. That does not help either. Actually, I think this is what is meant. Hmm. So this would actually be attached in a different way. You have this. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you have to attach this right here. But then okay, I see. This goes like this. Before attaching this, we put two of these. That took a while to think of that. And this whole thing is rotated like this. Okay, that's an interesting construction. Do the same thing mirrored. This then will go other way around. Here's this. Okay. Yeah, this piece instead of going this way will go this way. build is not difficult, but it is dense. At least so far it's not difficult. It's dense. That's a very interesting combination of parts right there. I believe the designer did this to avoid having like a blue pin here. Yeah, that's pretty respectable. Just looking for that. Yeah, right here. And long black pin. That's it. Right here. Yes, it's just stuff that will be clipped on eventually. It's nice to get it out of the way now, so we don't have to worry about these pieces anymore. It makes the rest of the build easier. Now back to the wing itself. Looks like we're gonna have like some pieces similar to this. With this, but they're gonna attach to something else, I believe. It's not yet clear what that is. So I have to figure out some work here before we can go here. And remember that this is the bottom and not the top, so I'm trying to build bottom up, but even bottom up, from this perspective, this is the top and this is the bottom. So basically you have to go from the center outwards. This part is good, the part that's in the center. Now I have to see what do we attach here, such that the whole thing makes sense in the end. Yeah, for example, there's a couple of these pieces. That's flexible to this piece will eventually get attached here. I want to see if we need to do any other things before. Because that does attach to another piece as well, I think. Things freezing a little bit. It looks like we're going to do this. And there'll be stuff attached to this instead of the other way around. It's not clear to me yet. Yeah, this was the three. Then we have like these bracket pieces. Does that make sense? For some reason. I guess maybe do this, attach the bracket, and then put this back. first time building. I mean, with this, we don't need to be as careful. I do know that this will go here. You could just press down on the 1x4. It's a bit awkward, but okay. It's a slope piece. Now right here. It might actually be easier to push it up instead of push it down. And here we have to fill this gap. One of them, two of them, I believe. Oh, this gray piece goes. Should have been here, but I'm not gonna disassemble the thing now. There's gotta be like a 1x2 or a 1x. Actually, let's see if I know what the solution is. Just by looking carefully at the. Not gonna say anything from here, but there's got to be something, especially with all the extra parts that we used. If we can get something just from the extra parts, I think I'll be able to save myself. We have 1x2 that I could use. Looks like the answer is yes. I'll just use this 1x2 for the parts I did not use earlier. This part will not be visible in the end, so no one cares. Okay, so I've done the bottom most part. Let's see what else do we need to do. There's these new pieces, 1x4 slopes. I do use a lot in the Awesome Space Tower, so please support that submission when the voting goes live. Such a large diversity of pieces. Many of them are gray. There has to be one more of these pieces somewhere. No, we'll find it eventually. In the meantime, I'll see if I can build the guess we have a bracket here. But it's kind of pretty unusual. You'll see what I mean, because we're going to be attaching pieces to the back, to the underside of the plate, in a way that we don't usually do. We have to, I suppose, yeah, I'll show you what I mean by actually building on the plate upside down. That's actually better to just put it. Like usually at this point we would not add stuff here, but in this case we will. We'll use these snap pieces. Attached to, I guess we didn't need to put the gray plate here, but that's where the outer line things. Remember, you can always attach and rotate these. Now, the complexity of the build is definitely more than what you would find in a typical Lego set for kids. That I can say for sure. If you're looking for advanced building techniques, this set will scratch that itch. If you're tired of building Duplo and 4+ sets, this set will definitely be a nice challenge. I think even with the instructions, this set is a challenge. Of course, I recommend trying to do it without the instructions. At least try a few bags. Yeah, here's that piece that we're looking for. I feel like bag 12 you can do without the instructions. Bags 1 and 2, no. Well, not if it's your first set. You have lots of complicated building techniques. Fun part. This will be print. I think we might need both of the black pieces here. Let's give that a try. It's better. Beautiful drum lacquered silver pieces. this looks the part. Yeah, that's beautiful. Alright, so now we're done with the front part. So have to think about how to do the back. This, as you can see, lots of pieces remaining. Can we attach the flexible tube at this point? I think the answer is yes. But this goes from here to here. So, yeah, resisted a little bit, but we were able to do it. So yeah, the front part of it is done. I would have preferred if they did this in multiple bags instead of just one big bag. Emi, thank you for joining. All right. Let's think about how to do the rearmost part. This thing has been glitching a bit. We'll do the best that we can with the information that we have. Oh yeah, this tile goes here. Let's put that like that. And this goes here. Okay, yeah, now we're done with that. With this. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid steel marks. All right. Very likely this goes here. Pretty sure I'm just gonna confirm. Actually, no. We need this elsewhere. Maybe this goes here. Let's see. Oh, it looks like to be something like this. You know, this is going to be involved. These two plates, some brackets, and some foam. Yeah, I think I need the black plate from here. Yeah, because we end up using two of those. Like, oh, I need this. We can't use this. And you also need this. I'm wondering, maybe there's supposed to be a gap between. Maybe this needs to be pressed in further. In case I need this piece, I'll have to remove it. Put this back. Yeah, like this, the gap is visible, but maybe it's not so bad when all of them are attached. Like this, that's not so bad, right? Now with this here, add some brackets. I believe this is how it's done. Actually, look at this, maybe. Let me confirm that. Okay, so for some reason we have this here. is for some additional color. You can see like the engine burning, there's a bit of red in there. It's probably the reason. I'm gonna do this like half plate offset. Actually, one full plate offset in this case. Here. This, I believe, goes here. Guessing more brackets or something. Maybe this. No, this won't fit. It'll fit upside down. No. It'll fit like this. Yes. I think this goes here. Put this here. We're starting to run out of pieces. Black 1x2 plate. At this point, you have to start to integrate this with the rest of the build. This will go here. Right on the side. Right. It'll be like this. That fits perfectly. Yeah, this feels very heavy. The wheels will put this kind of style, I believe. Consistent. Here's what that looks like. Then now we don't need all these pieces because of the attach this to. Actually, we don't have too many things to attach beyond these pieces. We just like attach these here. Well, this reminds me. I think the Venator did something similar. No, the screw marks will be visible, so we'll try to hide the screw mark from this. Oh, but the screw marks are going to be on this side or this side, so there you go. Yeah. Just the right amount of pieces. Now this comes into play. Oh look, the part designer, they thought about like if this is gonna be like used in this context, so they actually created this hole here. Kudos to them for that. Even at the bottom as well. Oh, they left this hole opening. Chrome piece. It's together and now this is gonna like go pretty quickly. Some bar piece. Some interesting techniques here. You have this, for example. Does that even fit? So, that way. Oh, so I guess I have to do this. Or actually, this, then this. This is a pin without friction, light gray. In this case, we're using it for greebling purposes. Then we can attach this. Okay. And this quick fire missile, another nice usage. Not a need to use basically. Yeah. This piece here. This whole thing gets attached here, and you see it like goes all the way out of frame. But not to worry. This whole thing will get attached here. I'll put this room up at the bottom. I guess this is the best we can do, right? We still are not done. We still have a bunch of these knives. Yeah, those go towards the front, but I didn't see them. There's a bunch more stuff that needs to happen. But, oh, I already attached this, which, as I predicted, would be a bit of a pain, but yeah, we have a few more things to do here. Basically, yeah, there's quite a lot of pieces left. Some of these are extra, but a bunch we will have to handle. Is this the biggest set we've done without the instructions? No. Unless you count maybe like one of the dimensions, like the length, maybe. But in terms of number of pieces, I've built bigger sets without the instructions. Including, for example, the Natural History Museum with more than 4,000 pieces. By comparison, this has approximately 2,000 pieces. But this is one of the more complicated builds. We're on day 5 of building this thing. We're starting to get close to the finish line, but still, victory is not complete. So assembly gets attached here. Anything else here? Don't see anything obvious. Go the other way around, and again, I'll remove this for the sake of like making my life a bit easier. But one more thing over here, it's this knife, or blade rather, that goes here. There's probably something similar to what we did just now. If you're looking for something that will keep you busy for a while, this is it. Okay. There's some place where this and this go. I'll try to find that out. Over here, maybe? Not really. This is covered. see where this goes yet. I suppose like at some point I'll find a gap and plug it in there. Bring this back here. Not sure where all these other pieces go. But actually we're not completely done because we need to attach this to the main build, but I think I'll do that after finishing the other motor just to be able to use this as a reference if I need to. I'll just do this. So we attach this to here. Same thing here. So essentially the motor itself is done. It's probably like a way to hold it in place so that this doesn't fall off super easily, but if you're just having it for display, I don't think it matters so much. And I want to do bag 16, but I'm exhausted. I also don't want to do a live stream for just like one last bag. So, do I have enough energy to finish the build? Oh, it's 1 in the morning already. In my local time zone. I didn't realize that. Yeah, due to my other obligations, I will not be able to finish the live stream today. So we're basically down to 1 bag left. So I'll just do the bag announcement for this bag and wrap up. I'll come back tomorrow maybe for 1 bag, or I might just build it offline because it's a mirror of this. Yeah, so probably at this point, let's wrap up. Just say the announcement for bag 15 so we don't forget. Bag 14 finishes the build of the right engine. So we build a bit more from the front as well as the back, and it gets pretty long. And I do like the way it looks like from the front with the drum lacquered silver pieces as well as this printed piece. This broke off easily, but it doesn't really matter for the purposes of what I want to do. Yeah, you can end the things here. So, thank you everyone for joining. If you have any final messages you want to leave in the chat, if you've been watching silently, have not subscribed yet, you can subscribe to leave a message so you can be considered for the giveaway. I'm going to put this brick separator here, and as soon as it appears on the screen for me, that means that the live stream is over. Alright everyone, goodbye for now. As I said before, I'll just do the remaining build off camera. Yeah, it's going to be almost identical. So yeah, you got the idea. Just to zoom out. This is what we built over the past few days, and I will show this in like a dedicated review video, just like I usually do on the channel. It might take me a few days to put it out just because of all the other stuff that I have going on, but it will be published eventually. It might take even a week or two. Planning like some personal stuff in my life, so that might mean it will take me longer to get to this review, but I will publish it eventually. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Au revoir, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.